the quicker you realise you're going to make mistakes, just embrace it when it does happen. I've said it for years, there ain't enough girls in the game, full stop. 100%. And now they're slowly coming in. The most basic part of goalkeeping, and I've said this for quite a few years now, is communication. Before catching, before handling the ball, before passing. Why? Because you're completely in control of it. So it's been 6 months since I did the last podcast, and you can see now we've got fancy cameras and we've also got another co-host. There's been many co-hosts along the years on the podcast, as you well know, and I'll name them later, but I'll let you introduce yourself, Luke.
Yeah, of course, and I'm super excited to do this because this has been a few weeks in the making. So my name's Luke Morton, I'm actually a broadcaster, I'm known as the Juice Guy, I work in the world of nutrition. But I'm also a goalkeeper myself as well, and I played up to semi-pro level. But the biggest thing is my relationship with Mr. Martin Brennan. So just to give you a quick story, I actually first met Martin probably about 5 years ago now, through Nathan Ashmore, and obviously played for Boreham Wood in recent times. Great goalkeeper, and I actually went down to go and interview him in Portsmouth. And I said to him, like, who's your coach? And he said, I know this great guy, Martin Brennan.
I still go in here. Is it wrong? No. You know my thoughts on goalkeepers, no rights and wrongs.
And I was like, yeah, I need to get in touch with this guy. He's like, he does weekly coaching and mindset stuff, all this sort of stuff. And you obviously never know what you're going to get. I've had different coaches over the years, from West Ham coaches to local coaches back in Brentwood. But I must say the best coach I've ever had, not just as a goalkeeping coach, but as a person, is this guy right here. So as you can imagine, I'm super excited to do this podcast. I'm a fan myself as well. I've listened to it in the car. I've listened to it after a game, before training. I've been there since the days of DG UK. And Glasgow Academy, and now the Nationals. I think the first of all question I have for you actually was, what's the meaning behind the title, the Nationals?
Well, after running events for so long, we started looking and going, right, we're getting a lot of people from, different countries and different places. I always had ambitions of doing these events all over the world. For me, the dream was, yes, it was going to professional coaching, and I did that for some time and I absolutely loved it and very fortunate to be there. But the vision was to go, right, I'm flying off to Holland to do a camp, and Sweden and Norway and America. And it just sort of stuck to go, do you know what, if we called it the Nationals, it could kind of then go to other countries. The problem with DG UK was we can't take it to Holland because it doesn't sound right. So for me, that was the other thing. That was the first thing. And the second thing was, we were kind of at one point looking to potentially go into different sports, actually. We run the big residential camp in the summer at Haileybury, and we've flirted with that a few times. Do we go into different sports? But the main thing was, it's like, when the kids are talking, where are you going? Oh, are you going to the Nationals this year? To try and make it a real, it's in the title, make it a real sort of national event. Loads of goalie schools out there, lots of them name it normally by themselves. And it's quite localised. I never had that dream. Mine was more about, it's great. If next door is a goalie and they want to come and join, brilliant. But we had a sign up last week from a boy in Texas. Like the excitement for this kid's going to come all the way over from Texas, from the States, to come to the Nationals. That's really, where it come from.
And this is professional goalkeeping training. This is not like, I had a coach, my very first goalkeeping coach, he used to say, if something wasn't up to standard, Mickey Mouse. So this is not, this is professional coaching that you offer weekly camps. I mean, I did your camp in Tame many times, the senior elite, and it's awesome. And I think a big thing that goalkeepers, whether you're a young goalkeeper right now or a semi-pro, even a professional, and you've quote unquote made it, is you're not born a great goalkeeper, you become it. It's like anything in life. And I think the biggest thing I took away from your camps was, it wasn't just what you do on the pitch, it's the classroom sessions, it's the night out. I've got some wicked memories, and and I think it was just bringing yourself out. I was somebody who was always quite shy at school and things like that, and it just brought me out. And it's about not necessarily trying to become a professional goalkeeper, but it's about becoming the best version of you.
Yeah, and I think the main part of that, from where I tried to put that into place, was I did my scholarship, and I've said before, at Tottenham. And looking back, and Hans Sagers was my goalie coach then, and he comes on the camps now and coaches with us. That's how long the relationship's been going. And he's like, the difference, you don't realise the difference from you as a person back then as a kid to now, probably couldn't be any further apart. And I'm like, well, imagine I did have that bit of bravery, that bit of confidence, that self-esteem, that sort of real attitude to go and try something. If only I'd have had that back then, when I kind of had, you know, sort of nice hands and good feet and kicked the ball well, and maybe if I combine that more together, I don't know what would have happened. But the second part for me is also that when these kids come on a camp, so if you look at a percentage of what kids actually go through and earn money out of the game, it's ridiculously small.
Yeah.
So our philosophy on it is, if you're coming into an event, we're going to try and help you as a person and give you a bit of a, when I say arrogance, it's kind of an inner arrogance to go, yeah, I'll have a go.
Yeah.
You know, so I probably take more pride on messages I get regarding the classroom sessions and the stuff in and around it, like yourself, than I do actually from the coaching bit now. You know, because it's a...
Well, I think the biggest thing I took from your career, as you said in the previous podcast, that you can be so tunnel vision with trying to make it and growing up having the dream in your teens. And I think something I've learned, I mean, obviously in recent times, I've been doing some coaching for yourself as well. And I always used to say things to myself like, I'm not a coach, like I'm a broadcaster, I'm a businessman, but you know, I'll help someone out, but I'm not a coach. But I think that's a closed mindset. And I think to be open-minded, but some people, if all they were ever going to do is be a professional goalkeeper, and then that doesn't work out, it's about, that's why these camps and the centres, it's about the people you meet, the things you learn, because that might set you up for a job, a career. What is something you'd say to the young goalkeepers who they're set on it, but, you know, like you said, the chances of actually making it to the very top level is tough?
Completely. I think that there's two parts. First part for me is just giving it a right go and actually enjoying it. And the second part is, when you make a mistake, wipe your face and get on with it. Because it's coming. You know,
takes time though.
Of course it does.
Not overnight.
Of course it does. And if I had my own philosophy when I was 17, I wouldn't have been a nervous wreck playing games. I just wouldn't. So, I can't say I wouldn't, but I would have had a better chance of it. But yeah, just to give it everything you've got, have a go at it, and you're going to get egg in your face. Whether you're playing in goal or you're going to become a postman or a lawyer, at some point you're going to make a mistake. So just be brave enough to go and make it, and embrace making it. You know, you said about Nathan Ashmore at the beginning, and his outlook on goalkeeping at times was, if he made a mistake in a game, he would kind of half laugh it off. Because you're like, I haven't meant to have done that. I haven't gone that way to do that. It's just happened. So what do? Do I sulk and cry about it for an hour, which would have been me as a young goalie? I would have done that for years. I would have done that for days on end.
You were saying, so Nathan Ashmore, he's able to laugh a mistake off. Like, how's he able to do it? 'Cause I've seen it, but for most people, it's like they take it so personally.
Yeah, because I think some can't manage to move on quickly, and some have such a high expectation of themselves that they go, well, I won't make a mistake. Well, you're going to make a mistake. That's going to happen. So I think the quicker you realise you're going to make mistakes, just embrace it when it does happen. Are you in control of everything? No. Are you in control sometimes of the really small things? Maybe. So you might control where it's going to be a really big mistake and it hits the papers on a Sunday morning, or it's a minute mistake that only really the goalie coach knows about. So, but for me, it links the expectations from the realism of it's coming. It is coming. And listen, the big Premier League boys do it. They'll do it week in, week out.
The other day.
Completely. You know, what's he do there? Maybe does he jump up and pat it a little bit so it just comes back down? There's so many things you look at. But
I mean, someone's saying he's not tall enough and things like that, but I don't think these things happen. It's not necessarily that, but...
No, but I mean, you could argue then and say, well, Raya's not the biggest. But he's probably...
Better at crossing, maybe.
He's probably voted the best 3 in the world at the minute, or even the best 5 definitely in the world at the minute.
But from a goalkeepers union point of view, he was right to play, I think, wasn't he? Like, he's played in the whole competition. I know they say sometimes play your strongest in the final, but you know, he's Real Madrid, Chelsea, you know, he's earned his stripes. It
can't be rule for one and not for the other, because someone said on TalkSport the other day about who's the other goalie he's playing? Trafford,
yeah.
Yeah, but he was brought in as a number 1.
Yeah.
You know, well, this is still irrelevant, whether he's brought in or not. This is the Premier League.
Yeah.
This isn't a pub team.
No.
You know, you've got your strong goalie and a guy that sort of help out a little bit.
Yeah.
They're both top-end goalies. Yeah. So the argument is, why do they do that? I think it's then to make them match fit enough that if something does happen in the bigger tournaments, okay, he's only had minutes, 4 games ago.
Yeah.
Rather than he hasn't touched the ball for whatever, 2, 3, 4 months.
I think that links quite nicely to the first thing. Basically, this episode, I think I'm just going to touch upon some things because I know a lot about you and your philosophies and how you teach goalkeeping, which is your biggest philosophy is there's no right or wrongs in goalkeeping.
Yeah.
Just can you expand on that for the people listening?
Yeah, I mean, I've done this a long, long time now, and I've met some really good coaches, I've met some really average coaches, and I've met some people that just don't coach. And what I find is people that will say, you have to do something a certain way.
Yeah.
And I've used this example for years, and I've said this on the podcast, years ago, that a shot that, Hugo Lloris is dealing with that's 25 yards out, another goalie may be 6-7 yards out. But I know I've said this for years. They've both played in the Premier League. They've both played for the country. They're both millionaires. And I can't remember how many times I've said that. So you might go, yeah, but one's smaller and one's shorter. Yeah, that's the point. So there's no right one way to do something. And I love watching other coaches and meeting new people and stuff. I love it. The only people I really struggle with is the guys that will go, you have to do it one way. And I don't believe, I've never believed in that.
Yeah.
The message to the kids on the camps is when we say about there's no right and wrong, you have to put in clear message in goalkeeping.
Yeah.
Some walk away going, brilliant, let's go and rob Tesco. You're like, yeah, kids, that's not what we're getting at. What we're getting at is, just because someone said you should have saved it, there's no truth to you should have saved it. It's just their opinion.
Yeah.
And their opinion is, okay, you might start at a step higher or a step further back.
I remember you saying this on the camp. You'd say that it's not you should have saved it, it's you could have saved it. But people often say, like parents on the side, if you're a young goalkeeper or Sunday league or even professional, they'll say he should have saved that. I had my dad say it to me, and actually, you only really know, like sometimes you might have got a touch on it and no one saw that, and you thought maybe if I had an extra spring in my step I'd have saved that. But it comes back to remind yourself, yeah, you could have saved it on a different day or if you trained better, whatever, but it's not should have saved it.
I think, and it comes back to the goalie coaching earning his real crust on, okay, if you think I could have saved it, give me some ways of how I could have got closer to the ball.
Yeah.
And they're your coaches. Someone that just says you should have saved it, for me, is probably a little bit of commentating.
Yeah.
It's easy. I should have done better at that. Like, let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah.
But where you say you could have, yes, you could have moved your feet, or you could have read the game better, or I always remember a guy, Dave Hockaday, who managed Leeds. He came in when I was at Wickham, and he spoke to one of the goalies after training, and he went, the guy on Saturday, what do you think you could have done different if you could go back and do it again? And I'm like, that's genius.
Yeah.
What a question.
Great way to reframe it.
It's unbelievable. So you're going, right, okay, so then he's thinking, right, if I go back Saturday and this happened, what would I do? Oh, Dave, what I've done is 100% I've done this.
Yeah.
Okay, well, brilliant.
That's what it's about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not a mistake, it's something you could have gone, okay, maybe I could have done a bit better.
And even the pros will do that. It's not just 100%. The lower levels. Yeah.
I think young goalies, there's a big mess with young goalies. I think young goalies assume that, the Premier League goalies and all the professional goalies have this everyday occurrence of there's no mistakes.
Yeah.
They don't try anything. They don't experiment with anything.
Yeah.
My last training session, where was it in the programme? Would have been at Orient. One of the sessions I did at Fulham years ago. 4 of the goalies out of the 6 were trialling something in that session that day.
Wow.
And one was coming from the full ages, but one would have been 19. I think the other 2 were in their 20s. And you're like, wow, this is unbelievable. You're trying and experimenting. We need to send this message to the kids, because I think the kids just assume, they're pros, they rock up, they put their gloves on, they don't make any mistakes, they know what they're doing. Yeah, they know what they're doing, but they can still improve.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a big one on that.
I mean, this will link nicely to the next episode, which will talk about psychology, mindset and stuff. It kind of links to what you said about 7 out of 10, like every week.
Yeah.
You're not trying to be a 9 out of 10 and a 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
You want to be consistent every week, which is hard, but that's what a goalkeeper is. I mean, that's my question to you. What does it mean to be a goalkeeper to you?
The word consistent comes to mind first. Being a consistent, and it goes back to the fact what you're saying about you coming on the events and learning about you as well. So being consistent as a person and in your performances. So for me, the more you can be consistent on them 2 levels, the higher up the pyramid you go.
Yeah.
You know, and as I say, I've been very lucky to work all the leagues, and in training there ain't much difference. There is not a lot of difference between the pros. There's not. But to be a goalie, yeah, I think you have to sacrifice. I think you have to learn how to. I had this chat with a goalie, funny enough, last night. Like, what makes Arsenal's goalie so good? They're talking about the spring, and I'm like, how many touches did he make in the last game? Oh, I think it was 4, he went. I said, imagine playing for 90 minutes and touching the ball 4 times.
Yeah.
So, like, concentration for the highest ones have to be like at an absolute elite level. You know, and that's probably what I learned about 10 years ago with, say, your League 2 goalies to your Premier League goalies. I think there's a mindset thing there, which, like you said, we'll touch on next week. But the other thing as well is being able to not be involved in the game and still be asked and called on when needed.
Yeah.
I think that's where your Peter
huge.
Schmeichels, your David Seamans, I think that's where they're on another level, you know. So my boy still, he stopped playing now, but he was incredible if he was involved in the game.
Yeah.
And the minute he weren't, he was the complete opposite.
Yeah, I get that. Something you talked about on one of the courses actually, or the camps, was the ultimate basic, which is communication.
Yeah.
It's the number one thing you can do. It doesn't require any extra training or whatever to go into a trial and just be loud, but not just loud, but effective communication. Can you just expand on that?
On the communication, yeah, I think the most basic part of goalkeeping, and I've said this for quite a few years now, is communication. Before catching, before handling the ball, before passing. Why? Because you're completely in control of it.
Yeah.
And I've done the marathon twice, and I can tell you now, when people are screaming and shouting and cheering you on, it and half help you. Yeah. I could not imagine doing that with no crowd. Yeah. And I generally don't think mentally I would have got through it. Yeah. So if you can improve your communication, be more effective in your communication skills, I think then that helps you and the team to raise the levels. And it helps. I think it helps relationships as well. You know, if you're asking your left back to get tight and stand up, and you're giving all this instruction, and you don't get on that great, I don't know if they give you everything. I'm not sure. But the simple things of, you know, there's a player on your left shoulder and there's a player on your right. It's such basic things. Yeah. And I think you can prevent so much danger. Then go into, that's on pitch. Then going off the pitch, you know, you see these players now with all the headphones and stuff on, and I'm still not sure on it. Yeah. There's an opportunity before we go out, before the game, that we can either have a laugh and a joke, or we can talk about something that you might settle me a little bit in that conversation. That's not going to happen if we both got headphones on. No. So you might say, yeah, but they're getting in the zone. Yeah, they may get in the zone. Yeah. But I've worked with goalies before that just like walking around and taking the mickey out of people because it makes them feel comfortable. Yeah. But if they're all in headphones, they can't communicate. So communication, I think is the very starting point of goalkeeping.
Interesting story on that, kind of touches on that. My dad actually, so I played at Upton Park once for an open trial, and the scouts were there and stuff. And my dad's got a background in karate champion himself, but also he coached Frank Bruno. And he was his corner man, like fitness man as well. Yeah. And obviously in boxing, you'd be in the corner shouting and throwing instructions and stuff. And growing up, my dad would always either be behind the goal or just to the side. And I did this trial, and it would really help because he'd be like, you know, centre, get back or whatever, and I'd be off my line. The only thing with it though is that some of these scouts picked up on it, and then they sort of said to me like, you know, was that your dad? And then I was like, yeah. And to this day, I'm like, I might have got through if I wasn't sort of, they saw me as dependent on having somebody telling me what to do. And I was only young, I was like 12, 13. Yeah. So I think it's a good note for goalkeepers that parents might be really supportive and they really want you to do well, but it's about having that independence as well.
Oh, completely. But I think it can be damaging. Communication can be damaging. I don't like when someone says never mind. Because to me, the language for never mind is you've messed up. Yeah. So why don't you just shout out you've messed up, keep going? Because it's the same message. Never mind, or keep your head up. Well, my head was already up. Why am I now keeping my head up? Yeah. Oh, I get it, because you think I should have done better at that and should have saved it, you know? So parents now say, well, what do I say? Just be there. Because you're going to be in the car with them, no one else, on the way home. So, and it's funny, I did a podcast with Luke 09 and Rob Blackburn, or I'll come on to Rob. And they were saying, you know, about parents and language and well, what do I do then? Because every time they make a save, I'm there screaming and shouting.
Yeah.
I said, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
But then when he makes a save or she doesn't make a save, what do you do? Well, I don't. I just sort of... Well, again, you're highlighting something clearly that's going, that was unbelievable, that was terrible.
Yeah.
So just be neutral. Just stay nice and steady with them.
Exactly.
You know? So, and listen, what do you want? What does a kid want from a parent? It's just to be there.
Yeah.
They're going to be, you're the only one they're going to be able to go to at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They've got a comfort blanket. And if you're not, where do they go?
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm huge, as you know, with the communication, I'm absolutely massive on it. So
I remember one of my coaches back at school, actually,
Yeah.
and I remember he always found it quite... My dad would come to every game, my school games I was playing at school, and he pulled him up one time and said, like, you come to every game? And he was like, it's not a lot. It's a lot for you, isn't it? And then my dad was like, well, no, I love it because I have a background in sport, but I love watching my son. And he was like, my dad was never there when I was playing football. I think it's so important if they can be there, if not to have someone there, a friend or someone supporting you, because if you've got no one there, it can be even more lonely.
Yeah. It must be lonely because they're the person that you want, like I just said, you want to look to go, I'm here, worry about it. You know, we took the same philosophy of Nation Ashmore with my son Alfie. If he made a mistake, eventually, I just sort of half smirked, and he knew what I was doing, and he did the same back. Yeah. So it's so much better code than what you should have done or could have done is this, this, and this. Okay, well let me finish the game and then try and help me. Yeah. So yeah, the body language. My wife's caught me before years ago when he was young with body language. Yeah. You know, you're showing that he's made a mistake. Yeah. Like, liven up with your body language. Yeah. Come on. But yeah, no, that's it is key. Communication is definitely key to a lot.
Question I had, because obviously I've listened to this podcast and I'm like, I wonder what Martin, like, if I asked him that, what he'd say. One thing you said once is you don't actually watch football, really. I mean, I've had coaches say to me, you must watch Premier League or you must go and see non-league game, which is something you did say to me once, to be fair. But you've always said you don't really watch it on the TV. How comes you don't?
I've started the last 6 months since I've been out the pro game, coming away from Bournemouth, so my Saturdays are free. My kids are older. I'm in a different life set completely now. You know, I will sometimes sit and watch a little bit. Yeah. I still don't watch a lot of Premier League. You know, if I got a chance to see either watch a Premier League game or go over to Rowan and say watch a Waltham Abbey, for example, I'll go over and watch Waltham Abbey. Yeah. I just find it more real. I find it more engaging. You know, so listen, if it's a cup final, I'm not going to go over and watch that and miss that. But I don't know. I just feel like it was a bit of a break coming away from it. Yeah. I really, really, really like football. Yeah. I love goalkeeping. I like football. I'm not obsessed by football. Yeah. You know? That makes sense. So if you said you want to go watch a game or go golf, I'm going golf.
Because you do a lot of football every day anyway. So it's like,
it's just a bit of a breakaway. But it is also nice to watch the goalkeeper stuff as well, because you're constantly trying to educate yourself. So it's not I don't watch any. I have recently got into a bit more. But yeah, I like it. I'm not obsessed. Yeah. Because some people in the game are like, right, it's a game on. We have to watch every minute. Yeah. I think there was a Tottenham game on or something was on the other day, and within 10 minutes I was nodding off. I was falling asleep.
Are you technically a Tottenham fan?
I did my scholarship there, so I kind of... I don't... Do you know what? It's mad. I don't really support anyone now. I don't. I just... Because I've been at a few clubs and all I do, I look at the the results, as a lot of people do. You look at the results coming in. So, I take an interest in that, but... No, you won't see me on the terraces screaming and shouting and hollering and stressing because our team's lost. It's just not.
I get that. I mean, I've got a game myself at the Emirates in May, just a corporate game, and you wear the Arsenal kit, and I'm a West Ham fan. Yeah. But I say to people when I do vlogs and things like that, I'm a football fan above all else.
Yes, exactly.
Like, some people get so tied into teams and colours and stuff. But I think just to ask you what's going on in your world right now. I mean, has there been anything exciting, fun happening personally in your life?
Yeah, as I said, the kids are older now. I remember when I first started the podcast, the very first episodes I actually recorded. It was in this house as well, actually. I actually recorded the kids introing the podcast. Yeah. And I don't know if you actually heard that.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and it's the kids, and they must have been 8 and 10 or whatever they were. But yeah, as they're now older, found myself a lot more time. So which for me normally links to doing more goalkeeper stuff. So now I've got more time. We've actually got more events, more camps. But yeah, still love my golf. Still trying to get out and play as golf as much as we can. But in terms of the nationals at the minute, yeah, it's going really, really well, really well. We're really, really pleased. And someone said to me, "Oh, you look stressed, you look tired," and I'm like, "Yeah, at times I am, like a lot of people are." They're like, "Do you remember like 5 years ago when you didn't have the college program and you didn't have the national, like the big camp, and you didn't have?" And I actually last week sat and just shut my eyes and gone, right, where did it start? Which was a boy called James in Cambridge. Yeah. Still remember it. The first kid in a group session. I'd posted leaflets out all day in Cambridge and got one kid. And now it's gone to this, to this point. So yeah, we got we now got the college program, which is this capital city. So we're on a full-time program now, which is incredible. A lot of the listeners before wouldn't have heard that because obviously I'd stopped it quite a while ago, the podcast. So that's exciting to announce for that. And then, next week we're on is it next week or the week after? We're doing an FA, we're doing a pathway thing for the FA for the girls, which I am like ridiculously excited about. Yeah. I think it could be something really, really nice for us and to try and help England get their national team goalies within the underage groups, help towards that. We're not selecting them, but we're helping get them closer.
Future INSs.
Which is incredible. Yeah. So I've said it for years, there ain't enough girls in the game, full stop. 100%. And now they're slowly coming in. So
I think one of the biggest things you do is make things memorable. I think I'd never see the Macarena in the same way. I remember on one of the camps, we went out and I remember I was having a bit of a low day once and that song came on in the car. It gave me a boost because it's memories like that. You think I could go and do another camp like that again. And like, it's not just about, like I said, the goalkeeping, but it's also how you are on the pitch, like analogies or funny stories or, you'll tie something into it that just makes people laugh. I think that's why people keep coming back. I mean, where does that come from? Did you have a mentor that was like that or just parents or?
Do you know what? Vic Bettinelli, Marcus Bettinelli's dad, at Fulham, goalie coach at Fulham, been there years and years and years. Walked in, met him, loved him within the first 10 minutes. And some of his traits and trends were just like incredible. Just loved everything about him. He was brilliant. Unbelievable coach. So that was the first part. And the second part was when I got an opportunity to go into a pro club, and I was only, 24, I think, doing Wickham, first team. When you looked at the other end and you see who was there, there might be like a Tim Flowers, for example, being the goalie coach at Northampton or wherever it was. You're like, I've got to bring something very different here. Yeah. Because that's not my background. And then the game that it really did it for me, I was at Fulham when we played Tottenham away at the old White Hart Lane. I walked out the tunnel and I'm like, okay, this is really hit me for 6 now. Like, I have to bring something completely different. And not reinventing the wheel. It's not actually nothing to do with the goalkeeping. But something's got to be strong. And I'm like, maybe it's my character, it's the person. Something has to be strong. Because otherwise I'm going to be eaten alive by these boys that have got, all these games. And I think, Tony Parks at the other end at one point. And there's been some unbelievable, Billy Mercer, there's been some ridiculous names at the other end. And I'm like, I need to bring something. I can't just be a standard goalie coach. So, and then moving into the camps, I'd realised why would someone want to come back? If there's goalkeeper coaching everywhere, why would you come back? And it's the memories. Yeah. And with a senior group, we do go out. And I was probably shy and embarrassed to say it years ago, but now I'm proud of it because it is part of the event. Yeah. So, and it doesn't mean going out and getting drunk. It doesn't. It means being together as a group, putting the gloves and the boots away and going, right, who are you as a person? Yeah. And we always play that game. I don't know if you played it with Mafia with the cards.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
You're like, it's such a basic game.
I won it and it was like, but that really boosted me.
Because you feel comfortable, you then start going, okay, I can actually relax here a little bit more and be more yourself. Yeah. Rather than this sort of head teacher role in a classroom talking about goalkeeping all the time. So, but from the business side with the Nationals, it was about them events going, right, why would you come back? Because really you're buying into spending time with me or whoever's coaching it, which obviously more than likely is going to be me. Why would you come back? It's for that. Yeah. It's the feel-good factor. It's having that feel-good factor. It's about the energy. It's about what else you're offering off the pitch. So, as you can hear, I'm passionate about that.
There's enough tough things in life. You might be at school. You might be taking exams, you might be at university, whatever. You might, different personal situations going on. That's your switch off. That's your release. Yeah. That's your, the amount of times the next day I'd be a little bit cheekier with someone or a little bit more just myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's because I've been down to see Martin. I've done my goalkeeping. And it gives you a purpose as well. So
I love the groups though. Like when I've got a group of you, I love that.
Yeah.
Because there's different characters, different personality. We have lads come in that are like so shy, like ridiculously shy. Within 4 weeks, they're throwing a bit of banter out and they're laughing a little bit in the right areas. And for me, the groups are brilliant.
Yeah.
I just love working with groups.
Yeah.
Because you will put the shy person purposely with the strong characters.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You'll put the 3 strong characters with the shy I'll purposely manipulate it around. Because I just think the biggest thing for life with me is having a character to go, I'll have a go.
Yeah.
And you can imagine people that don't go on X Factors and don't go on Britain's Got Talent because they're too scared to get on the stage.
Of course.
The reality is, they're probably good enough to be better than what's already on there.
Yeah.
But they ain't got the get up and go. Not the get up and go, it's wrong to say, that sounds like an effort thing.
Yeah.
They haven't got the arrogance to go, I'll have a go at it.
Yeah.
And when it don't work, so what?
Yeah.
I go back home to my job. So yeah, I'm big on that. That's probably to take most pride in this now on is definitely that.
Just last couple of bits before we wrap up this first episode of the mini relaunch, really, 2026 edition of the Nationals, the podcast. Alfie, obviously over the years played in goal. Yeah. I think last time I listened to the podcast, he was playing at St Margaretbury, and obviously he does his DJing now. Is he still playing? If he's not, what's he up to with the DJing? No,
Alfie, I said it to my wife years ago, he'll have a good go at it.
Yeah.
He's a massive character.
Yeah.
And I will say that. And I think anyone that knows him will back me up on that. And I thought, you know what? I don't think he's got... for me, I had everything was football.
Yeah.
That's all I cared about.
Yeah.
Friends, I'm not worried. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Alfie will sit and he'll go to any pub. He'll go anywhere and just get on with people.
Yeah.
And he just wants to be around people. And I kind of knew it was going to come, but yeah, he stopped playing now. His last game, ironically, was for St Margaretbury at Harlow.
Okay.
And Harlow needed to win the game to win the league.
Yeah.
And I think there was, don't cry, I think there was about 1,600 people in the game.
Yeah.
So for him, it was a huge thing.
Yeah.
It was great. So he's kind of gone out for him on a real bang. But he's DJing. He loves his DJing. He's doing some work in the day. But as I say, the biggest thing I take, not credit. It's not credit. It's definitely not credit. But putting him in them environments, why I'm going to these camps, 100% has really brought him out more as a character.
Yeah,
definitely. He will make a mistake. He'll know he'll make a mistake, and he'll laugh at himself.
Yeah. Rather
than I made a mistake and everyone's going to judge me.
Yeah.
He don't care if you judge him or not.
Yeah.
Because he's laughing at himself, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
So he stopped playing. So, but no, he's.
But the bigger thing is finding
happy.
His path and finding
completely
and becoming the person he's meant to be, versus maybe he should be a goalkeeper or a semi-pro. It's about being what's true to him. So.
And then with the DJing, he'll go and do the DJing, and there's a couple of times we're out to pick him up or drop him off or whatever. And the person that's had the DJing, like at the house or whatever, has come out and they're like, "Is he your boy?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's unbelievable, isn't he?
Yeah.
And they're not talking about nothing to do with DJing.
Yeah.
They're just talking about him as a person.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Alf, you're onto a winner, mate.
Yeah.
People love being around you and they love you there.
It's only a matter of time before that turns into a career or whatever.
Which is ironically the same philosophy that we have at the camps, especially with the seniors, well, not really seniors, all of them, that they've got a little bit about them to go, I want to spend more time with that person.
Yeah.
And if it's football, great. If it isn't, it doesn't matter. That's not the point.
Yeah.
But they're going to be felt like they're part of a community and part of something.
Yeah.
So, no, he's happy.
Yeah, good.
He's a pain in the backside at times, but he's happy. Yeah, he's harmless.
Nice. We actually did an episode about 5 years ago, actually, here. And if you want to go and watch that, it's actually a series I did with Martin's help, keeping it out the net. You can go and check that out. I interviewed Nathan Ashmore, Hans Sagers, KP as well, who are people who have been mentioned on this podcast. But just to wrap up episode 1, really, just to say, I mean, if people are new to this and they've listened to this whole episode and have got this far, well done, first of all, because, most people don't give things a chance. But what can they do to get in touch if they want to come to a weekly centre or come to a camp? What can they do?
Yeah, and you can go onto the website, go onto thenationals.co.uk. We've got the weekly centres, we have the one-to-one stuff, 2-to-1s, we've got the junior elites, we run 3 of them a year. We've got the big summer event, we're going to Sweden, we're going to Norway, we're going to Jersey, we're going to Isle of Wight. We're trying to go to America, but insurances is stopping us from doing that. If you need insurance in America, yeah, good luck with that one, because it is a fortune, absolute fortune. So that's the only thing that's stopping us from the States. So the college program, you know, if you're doing your GCSEs, if you're doing your GCSEs now, then yeah, again, you can go onto the website or go onto the Capital City website and apply for a place there. That's a full-time program. So yeah, we've got loads going on.
Yeah.
And listen, it's great to have you on.
Yeah,
great to have
so
you on
much
now.
more to talk about.
It's a brand new, and listen, the podcast's gone for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's a brand new thing again.
Yeah.
It's actually changed hands so many different times and ways.
It's evolved.
It was me and KP and Ashmore. It
Yeah.
was me back on my own. It was me and Paul Sherritt, Glove Glue owner, and then it was back me again. And now it's us.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, mate.
I think it's an interesting mix because I know you really well,
Yes.
and I've been there and done it. So I think we've got lots of stories, lots of things to teach you, and I look forward to the next episode.